She is.
Henny Warner answers the phone from someone who has not seen freedom in 25 years.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
On the other end of the line, her niece, Tasha Mercedes Shelby, calling from inside Central Mississippi Correctional.
So, I went to my interview with the 1A program, and I was accepted.
You were? And how long does it go for?
For 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll be home before then. You won't be able to finish.
Amen. Yes.
Manifesting a prison release that may never happen. After a jury convicted Tasha of murdering her 2-year-old stepson, Brian Thompson, at this trailer park in this bedroom in Biloxi, Mississippi in 1997.
What was your reaction when she got arrested?
Oh, it was just absolute shock. And she was so scared.
According to police records, Tasha told investigators, "I was asleep in my bedroom, heard a big thump, and found Brian was lying on the floor, having what looked like a seizure." But the state's medical examiner ruled Brian's death a homicide, telling the jury the boy died from blunt force injuries to his head, caused by shaking. Prosecutors called it shaken baby syndrome. The jury sentenced Tasha to life in prison without parole. She was 25 years old with no prior criminal record.
No one shook this child. No one abused this child. The jury was relying on the wrong information.
Valina Beatty is Tasha's attorney. Last year, she filed a petition in federal court asking a judge to dismiss the case and set Tasha free after uncovering new evidence from an unlikely source. Dr. Leroy Reddick, the same medical examiner who ruled the child's death a homicide, changed the death certificate to an accident in 2018, 18 years later.
How rare is it for a medical examiner to change a death ruling?
Incredibly rare. Dr. Riddick testified in hundreds of cases. He performed autopsies in even more cases. And this is the only case where he changed his opinion.
Today, Dr. Reddick can't say why he changed Brian's manner of death. He passed away more than 2 years ago.
Nothing but the truth to help you God.
I do.
But he did explain himself in this recorded deposition in 2017.
If you could tell the prosecutors or the detectives something different today about the results, what would you say?
That I made a mistake on my conclusions, and that given the information I have now, that the child died from hypoxic encephalopathy with herniation due to seizure disorder.
A brain injury due to a seizure disorder, remember, is exactly what Tasha told police she witnessed Brian suffering from after falling from his bed.
Well, we thought, they're going to let her go. There was no homicide. You can't keep someone in prison if there's no homicide. And they're not letting her go.
Why isn't she free?
The judge ultimately decided that he believed the testimony of Dr. Riddick at trial more than he believed the testimony of Dr. Riddick at this hearing, that he simply wasn't convinced.
The twists and turns don't end there. We've uncovered the medical examiner isn't the only person involved in the original trial who believes mistakes were made.
I think about that too.
Enter Daniel Mullen, juror number 42. He's one of the original jurors who not only voted to convict Tasha, but wanted to see her sentenced to death.
The first time around, it was unanimous vote that she was guilty.
2 decades later, Daniel now believes Tasha is innocent after learning about Brian's disorder and the family's history of seizures, details he doesn't remember as a major part of the case. According to court records, Brian also had an appointment scheduled with a neurologist before his death that he never made. All of this resonates with the former juror. His son suffered from violent seizures as a child.
A baby with seizures, when I start talking about seizures, I tear up. And it's something you don't want to see.
Knowing what you know today, would you have convicted her?
I never would have convicted her, never. That night, I laid in my chair half the night thinking about it.
What were you thinking?
If we made a mistake, it cost that girl 22 years of her life.
While Tasha waits for a new judge to rule on her case, we've uncovered at least 21 people charged with crimes connected to shaken baby syndrome diagnoses that have had their convictions overturned since 2019. Why were most of their charges reversed? Evolving science, many experts say, proves the diagnosis is unreliable. For decades, pediatric traumatic brain injuries could only be explained with blunt force trauma, like car accidents, falls, or violently shaking a child. Today, new science shows those same injuries can also be linked to illnesses and biological issues, like seizure disorders.
Had all sorts of examinations.
Dr. Riddick said the change in science compelled him to change Brian's death certificate.
Severe seizures that are lasting for a period of time, that the brain stem is shut off and you don't breathe and you get hypoxia. You don't get enough oxygen to your brain and you die.
The district attorney's office in Biloxi, which originally prosecuted Tasha's case, declined to comment. So did Mississippi's attorney general, currently fighting her appeal.
It's to get them ready to go back into society. Sort of.
Tasha wanted to share her story with us on camera, but Mississippi's Department of Corrections said no. Instead,
An inmate at the Mississippi
we spoke to her by phone just outside prison walls.
Did you ever shake little Brian? Ever?
Never.
Never.
No, sir.
And did you ever hit him or beat him?
No, sir.
What's your message to this judge that will be making this decision?
To please thoroughly read everything from beginning to end. See how the science has changed. Look at the facts. Be courageous and right this wrong.